Hello everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to a new video about moving in London. After doing my last two videos about finding a new flat in London, I've received loads of comments and questions all over social media by you guys about further information, what to do, what not to do, what to look out for, how much money. So I thought I'll make another video. Here are my 10 tips for finding a flat in London. I do have to say these are all tips that I learned in the last few weeks, and it mainly applies to renting a flat with a housemate or two, so not moving into a flat where somebody's already living and not buying. So number one is know what you want before moving. Seems straightforward, isn't always, so make sure you'll stick to your budget, make sure you know your area, and make sure you have a reliable housemate. Sit down with your housemate, decide on a budget and everything else, and stick to it. It will help you in the future. Number two is be ready for disappointment. This is in relation to agents, landlords and flats. Always remember, viewings do get cancelled by your potential new landlord or the agent last minute, so always double check whether or not your appointment is actually still happening, and never fall in love too much with a flat before you've actually signed the contract, because someone else might take it away right in front of your nose. So be ready for disappointment. Don't get too excited too quickly, and don't feel too safe too quickly. Number three is be professional. Dress nicely and be polite at the viewing, because I think it's very important that you are friendly and nice to the person who's showing you the flat. Do show your enthusiasm if you like the flat. Always remember that the landlord or the agent are the people that decide whether or not you will get the flat. There is no point in saying things like, yeah, I will let you know tomorrow, I've got another 3 or 4 flats that I'm deciding on. That's not how it works. The landlord decides, so be polite, be professional, and you'll get there. Number four is do not take the first best thing. It might sometimes feel like you have to because flats are going so quickly and you might be a little bit stressed, but trust me, there are about 100 or more flats going live in London every day, so do not worry. My friend and I, we viewed about 15 flats before we found our one, so always remember. And I guess on that note as well, when you're viewing a flat, don't fall in love with what it looks like at the moment, because some of the furniture might belong to the tenants. Then number five, I also wanted to talk about things you can and can't expect. So you can't expect a dishwasher in London. Do not expect a dishwasher anywhere. You also can't expect double glazed windows. Now for me as a German, this is very important, but a lot of flats in London don't have it. So check if your flat is on a busy road, if it's loud, and if it is double glazed, check if there's heat coming through, so hold your hand on top of it. And if you feel it's very loud, or if you feel heat is leaving the flat through the window, when you make an offer, you can ask for double glazed windows, but you cannot expect it. You can, however, expect the flat to be professionally painted and cleaned before you move in. You can also expect a furnished flat if it's advertised as furnished, which means a double bed or a single bed, a wardrobe and a chest of drawers, and all the kitchen goods. Number six is be quick. So the moment you finally find a flat that you and your friend or you and your friends like, you have to make a decision quickly, which is why it's so important to be prepared, to know exactly what you want, and to view many flats, because there will be a moment, trust me, when you know, you know. And if you know, be quick. Pay the holding deposit, ideally while you're viewing the flat, because otherwise people will take it. That leads me on nicely to number seven, which is what is a holding deposit? So officially, a holding deposit is money that you pay for the flat to be taken off the market, so it's yours while you're going through all the other processes like referencing and stuff. The agency will tell you as soon as you've paid the holding deposit, nobody else can view the flat. I wouldn't necessarily rely on that. It hasn't happened to me personally, but a few people that I know said that there's agencies that make more than one tenant pay the holding deposit, which isn't obviously very nice, but do not rely on it. Still, however, pay it as soon as you can. The holding deposit normally is something around £500, which obviously then goes towards your first month rent. Number eight is how to make an offer to a flat that you want to rent. So there are probably a few different ways. The easiest way is to ask your potential landlord or your agent what they want, but in general, it's normally an email that will state the amount of rent you're willing to offer, everyone's names who moves in, and everyone's occupation, everyone's job, everyone's income. So the most important, I guess, pieces of information at that moment. When it comes to renting, try not to offer too much below the asking price. That is very important. You can try and offer 50 or maybe £100 below the asking price per month. But in general, I would recommend to offer the asking price if you really, really want it. And obviously if you consider the asking price to be relevant and, you know, fair for the flat. Number 9 is a question you guys have asked me in the last few weeks so many times, so I'll try and answer it. How much are agency fees and what are they for, and do I have to pay them? Yes, you will have to pay them if you are finding your flat with an agency. A very famous one is Savills or Foxtons. Whether or not you should trust them, just be a little bit careful. But in general, yes, you have to pay agency fees. Agency fees should not be more than about £500, I would say. This includes the fee for the agency for the admin work that they do, for showing you the flat, for finding the flat, and also referencing costs. And number 10 is be prepared to be referenced. So like I mentioned before, you will be referenced whatever flat you move in. Referencing normally takes 1 to 2 weeks. So in that process, you will be asked for a load of documents. So make sure you and your flatmates are ready for that. You will probably need 6 months income proof, so you know, pay slips or any other statement of how you earn your money. If you're a student, you will need a guarantor, which means your mum or your dad or someone else that you're related to, and they will obviously have to be your guarantor, so they will need to prove all the income that they have. Don't worry, you'll be sent a list with all the documents that you need. You also need 6-month bank statements that you'll have to send to the referencing company. So all of that can take a little while, but normally in, you know, 80% of the cases, referencing is fine. It's obviously quite nerve-wracking because you'll have to wait for 1.5 weeks and you're not really sure. And that's probably the most important point. During referencing, you still don't have the flat. You have the flat the moment your references have gone through and you have the contract in your hand and you have signed the contract. That is when the flat is yours. That's when you can relax and open a bottle of champagne or 5. So congratulations, now you finally have a London roof above your head. I hope this helped you guys. I went through all of this, trust me, and more, and it's very nerve-wracking, but in the end, everything will be worth it. Any further questions, do leave them down below. I cannot wait to do a flat tour when I finally move into my new flat. I'll see you next week.